weather can change very, very quickly. You definitely need to slow down because you could be driving into a rainstorm. You could be driving into that snowfall.
Maybe April, but winter-like storms just won't give up across the West. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. Tonight on this Friday, I'm Frank Malicote. Storms crossing the West this weekend could pack winds gusting up to 80 miles per hour in Colorado. Safety concerns have already prompted the cancellation of a show at Red Rocks Park Outdoor Amphitheater already. That's near Denver. Now, most of the stormy conditions we see today are here in California. Cameras have captured hail coming down in Los Angeles, rain falling in San Diego, and new snow across the state. That snowfall heavy enough to require drivers to have chains on vehicles traveling at high elevations in both northern and southern California. Now, light snowfall surprised some drivers north of LA today. Conditions in the Grapevine area were bad enough overnight to convince some people to pull over and wait out the snow showers.
If you can't make it, you can't make it. That's the way of the universe, you know?
You just got to park and wait it out.
You just got to park and wait it out. I mean, your boss can't be mad at you. You stuck.
Trying to beat the storm?
Yes, we are. My dad will be upset if we don't make it.
It's danger, but I okay, you know, the experience. It's when I snow, more safe. That's it, safe.
Just slow.
Slow down, and more safety.
Yeah, safety first. City and county officials are keeping a close eye also on landslides in Southern California as storms are rolling in. In Orange County, crews have tarps covering a hillside that collapsed yesterday. That slide destroyed the backyards of some of the homes there. 3 houses have been yellow tagged in the area. And in the Hollywood Hills, a home under renovation that's been red tagged. Hillside in that area collapsed yesterday, sending mud into the home itself. Let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Roberta Gonzalez, who's tracking the West Coast storms as we speak. Good evening.
Good evening, Frank. And those mudslides are attributed to accumulation. For 2 straight winters in throughout the state of California, above average precipitation, and it is taking its toll. And earlier you were alluding to rain and snowfall and hail. The San Francisco Bay Area saw all of that today alone on the backside of that cold front that continues to make tracks through the state of California and also impacting all the way into Colorado. So let's get to it right now. We see the precipitation still in earnest, draining now into the eastern district of the Bay Area, all the way into Los Angeles. Now, as we go ahead and traverse into the Los Angeles area, it's hit and miss scattered rain showers, and we see the snow that has been working its way also into the Grapevine area. As of right now, here you have the Grapevine in between Santa Clarita and Frazier Park, and you do have a little bit of light snow. You have a lot of precipitation, but look what happens upstream here, where we are looking at Lost Hills actually, and also Visalia into the Bakersfield area. We have scattered thunderstorm. It's almost like a line of thunderstorms up and down I-5 all the way into the San Francisco Bay Area. Tracy and Patterson, the recipient of some strong thunderstorm activity. The rain continues to fuel out of Napa in the northern portion of the Bay Area into the East Bay, and all this activity will gradually begin to subside in the next couple of hours. But we do have the rain showers now pushing and pulling into Denver. With it, the winds, because we have that pressure gradient. Let me back off a bit here and take you through some of the temperatures for the day. Average high in the Los Angeles area, 72 degrees, but instead only high 50s. That was the scene looking at Santa Monica today with the clearing of the skies. And this is a little misleading. When I pulled this image today, we're looking from Oakland past the estuary towards the skyline of San Francisco. Looks clear there, but the clouds are building and they continue to swing in and out of the Bay Area. This is the scene in Seattle. Yeah, that tells the story, doesn't it? Cloud cover and rain showers and 52 degrees. And it was 89 degrees in Phoenix yesterday. Today, 72 degrees. When look at that rain shower as it pushed in about 4 and 5 o'clock today. Now, meanwhile, again, this is the core, the center of the area low pressure. This is the frontal boundary. And this is what's pressing up against the Colorado mountain range here, the Rockies, and causing the very adverse conditions in the form of wind. Now, we do still have the snow on the fly in the Greater Lake Tahoe area, and that winter weather advisory is in effect until tonight at 11 o'clock. The total accumulation will be 10 to 20 inches. We've already seen half of that at lake level at 6,200 feet. 7,000 to 8,000 feet is where we're seeing the nearly foot of snow. So here's your forecast for the weekend. It gradually gets better, but a little smattering of rain showers early Sunday morning in the Bay Area, but lots of sunshine for that eclipse on Monday on the West Coast. Frank?
Thank you, Roberta. So far, storms are not causing any trouble in the host city for the weekend's NCAA men's Final Four. We got a live look, State Farm Stadium. We are in Glendale, Arizona. Big doings there all weekend long. There will be a few showers in the region earlier today, but that's not dampening the fans' excitement in Arizona. Social media buzzing with posts about the tournament. Purdue will take on North Carolina State tomorrow. That game will be followed by UConn. The Huskies, defending champs, taking on Alabama. The winner of those games will play in the title game on Monday night. Tens of thousands of fans descending on the Phoenix area for those games. A fan fest with amusement park rides and interactive basketball exhibits open this afternoon. The surrounding community is looking forward to seeing a business boost after months of work getting ready for the Final Four.
We started off right here in Glendale where all those games will be taking place, and come this weekend there'll be plenty of fan experiences to go around for everyone. Ride the Ferris wheel wrapped in your favorite team, bucket ball, slam dunk contest, and defense drills. The men's Final Four tip-off tailgate outside of State Farm Stadium is packed with action off the court, with a lot of time and preparation going into it.
If people knew, they'd be amazed. I mean, there's trucks and trailers and semi-loads and matting and cranes and forklifts and snorkels and everything that have to be in place to make it all happen. It's a lot of work.
Come Saturday, number 1 seed Purdue will tip off against number 11 seed NC State, followed by number 1 seed UConn. They'll hit the hardwood against number 4 seed Alabama. And heading east as teams dance their way to the end of the road, in downtown Phoenix, the men's Final Four Fan Fest at Phoenix Convention Center is hosting performances, autograph sessions, and a Friday night pep rally, all ahead of the weekend matchups. And over to Scottsdale, the basketballs are larger than regulation.
Just expands the excitement of the whole thing.
It's bringing in fans and tourists to Old Town to see the Canali Oop art installation while also generating revenue for local businesses.
This is going to be insane on Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
So we're here to see kind of what's going on in advance. And they always do such a great job.
It's magical. It's amazing. The people that I met while we were building this, either not even into the Final Four, but then they see our bracket board and they get inspired by their team. And that's what it's all about, just kind of bringing it all together and really understanding what major events do for the Valley.
Canali Oop is more than just an art installation. Even though the court here isn't usable, they've got activities going on Saturday and Sunday, live music, fun activities, plus a live bracket board that will be updated throughout the weekend as those games are played over in Glendale. In Scottsdale, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
And look for extensive Final Four coverage on our website. Check it out, westcoastwrap.com. Our online includes headlines out of Phoenix and Cleveland. In Cleveland today, women's Final Four game started. South Carolina beat North Carolina State in the first game of that. It's the end of an era for bargain hunters. The operators of the 99-cents only stores announced today they are closing. The retail chain has some 371 stores. They're spread out over Nevada, California, Arizona, and Texas. Fox 11's Laura Diaz reports shoppers are already flocking to the stores for those liquidation sales.
Simple thing as this, right here you get for $3, you go AutoZone $11. It's just life's getting harder and harder. I think it's really sad what's happening.
For shoppers like this dad of two who buys and sells cars for a living in Los Feliz, the 99-cent store has been a godsend. We caught him unloading his grocery cart at the 99-cent store in Silver Lake Friday, where he stocked up on supplies to clean cars at a bargain price.
As long as you can save some money here and there, everything counts. Pennies add up to a quarter adds up to $1, so you got to be careful.
His cleaning supplies were 30% off, but the reason they were discounted was devastating. The discount store is permanently closing its doors at all 371 stores. Thursday, the company, 99 cents only, announced its closure, citing financial difficulties stemming from the pandemic, changing consumer demand, and rising inflation. The interim CEO said, quote, "This was an extremely difficult decision and is not the outcome we expected or hoped to achieve." At the Silver Lake location Friday, the parking lot was jammed. The 99-cent store is famous for reasonable prices on groceries, cleaning supplies, and snacks.
Beans and just things that they don't expire that soon. And it was like almost $40, not much.
But for working class shoppers on a razor-thin budget, here they could stretch a budget, like single mom of 4, Elizabeth.
Sad because, 99 cents has been, providing and helping for all of us through years. Anything that we need, we just come here, shop, and it's cheaper, and, it's a good deal.
That was Fox 11's Laura Diaz reporting, Meanwhile, a big-name discount clothing store is actually expanding across the states. Uniqlo announced it will open 11 new stores in Texas. These will be the first locations in that state. It's also expanding in California in an attempt to reestablish the brand with its U.S. customers. Washington State is also slated to see some new stores later this year. All this comes after the store actually closed some locations in recent years, all due to lower than expected sales. However, the retail brand is benefiting from discount prices that do attract shoppers looking to beat our inflation. New police body cam video showing what it took to save the life of a K-9 officer stabbed while on the job. Coming up here on the West Coast Wrap, Las Vegas police sharing how Enzo is doing. And a lucky streak in Las Vegas. One gambler hit the jackpot 5 times on a slot machine. The guest's amazing winnings. Those numbers when we come back.
It's okay, my buddy. You did so good, buddy. You did good. You're a good boy.
Newly released body cam video showing how Las Vegas police rushed to help a K-9 officer stabbed multiple times while on the job. That dog named Enzo survived and has been reunited with his handler. Investigators say a man attacked the Belgian Malinois during a standoff with police. Fox 5's Joe Vigil shows us how the officers shut down roads and got help from a helicopter crew to get the dog life-saving treatment.
It's okay, my buddy. You did so good, buddy. You did good. You're a good boy.
A dog that protects police and the public now needed help itself after a suspect stabbed him. Police rushed to save Enzo's life.
Right here, right here. Here's the good one here. He definitely has one on his hand.
Veterinary staff assessed multiple puncture wounds, and it's decided to transfer Enzo to another hospital for additional care. But the hospital is more than 18 miles away in rush hour traffic. Police rushed their wounded partner to what spontaneously turned into a doggy air ambulance. And what looks like a calm but bloodied Enzo gets a fast ride across the valley in Metro's chopper for more care. Police and more vet staff dashed to head inside. The efforts to save Enzo are a success, and the video shows his recovery.
K-9, patrol, flex teams, officers without hesitation knew what to do, knew how to respond, knew how to shut down traffic, and they did that. And ultimately, that's what saved Enzo's life.
And the department says if not for vet staff, Enzo would not be here today.
Well, we're glad Enzo's doing okay. By the way, that was Fox 5's Joe Vigil reporting the suspect in this case has been arrested. He was wanted for murder also in St. Louis. Well, the County Board of Commissioners of Walla Walla County, Oregon, are proposing moving the state's borders so they become part of Idaho. Residents in the eastern Oregon County voted narrowly in favor of measure to discuss the change. County officials have asked state leaders to move this item forward to your respective bodies as soon as feasible for discussion. Backers say their concerns are not being heard in the Oregon legislature. Both state legislatures and Congress would have to agree to that change. A stretch of Southern California's coast is becoming known as Biotech Beach. It's all because of a booming business in the health and life science sector. Fox 5's Jamie Chambers spoke with people at the center of the boom who liken what they're going through as the Silicon Valley's early days.
There's a quiet biotech boom happening right under our noses in San Diego County, and every day it gets just a little bit louder.
What you have in the ceiling is you have HEPA filtration.
Now more than ever, the health and life sciences sector is starting to resemble the vestiges of the exponential growth of Silicon Valley. Industry insiders lovingly call it.
People say Biotech Beach here in San Diego. You know, it's the only place where you can come in, you can do your work, and you can go surfing later in the afternoon.
Dan Dernbach's company Azure is just the latest example of the San Diego biotech sector scaling like Silicon Valley of the early 2000s, creating clean rooms available on demand for biotech startups attempting a moonshot of ending some of the worst diseases on the planet.
The therapies that are being developed here in San Diego and other areas as well, these are cures.
With UCSD, Salk Institute for Biological Studies, the Sanford Burnham Medical Research Institute, the list goes on with top-tier graduating scientists, many of whom are dreaming of building out their own biotech companies and needing a clean space to get their medications and therapies through the regulators and onto the market. Azure has been developed for that very purpose, essentially a WeWork for scientists with a budget, but maybe just a little one.
We have one of the best biotech and biopharmaceutical markets in the United States. You know, there's just an incredible amount of talent here. There's a lot of resources here.
Unlike the incubator startups in Silicon Valley, you're not going to see ping pong and you're not going to see scooters rolling through the halls. They're a little bit more serious in the biotech sector, but I do hear there's a golf simulator next door. Azure also provided Moderna emergency clean rooms and support developing the COVID vaccine. And even as COVID subsided, experts agree here in San Diego, Biotech Beach isn't going anywhere. Jamie Chambers, Fox 5 News.
Alarm over the use of anti-aging products by tweens is leading lawmakers to consider a ban in the state of California. The bill by South Bay Assembly member Alex Lee would prohibit the sale of over-the-counter cosmetics that contain vitamin A or derivatives or an alpha hydroxy acid. This all comes as doctors have been warning about social media trends showing preteens using strong anti-aging products with ingredients that could harm their skin. A second case of tuberculosis has been identified at a Las Vegas area school. Southern Nevada Health District officials say they're working with the Clark County School District to create a testing plan for anyone considered in close contact of those infected. The first TB case surfaced at Cambiero Elementary School. The second occurred at the Barry and June Gunderson Middle School. Both happened within the last week. Health officials have not said whether the TB patients are students or staff of those at school. TB is a bacterial infection that mainly affects the lungs. It spreads from one person to another in the air as an infected person coughs or speaks. Patients with active symptoms will require a long course of treatments that involves antibiotics. If left untreated, it can be fatal. After almost 30 years of being on the decline, cases of the infection were up some 16% last year. Students in Juneau, Alaska, walking out of school and through the State House, all in protest. Those teens marching yesterday following Governor Mike Dunleavy's decision to veto an education package which would have increased aid to school districts. The walkout lasted 40 minutes, which represented the 40 lawmakers who did not override the governor's veto.
Everyone we've spoken to says, yeah, I'm totally for raising the BSA. And I'm like, oh, but whenever a bill comes up, it doesn't seem to pass. And we're still in this massive amount of debt, and our schools are still being underfunded.
School officials say inflation, high energy and insurance costs, along with teacher shortages, are just some of the issues they are facing in Alaska. The governor says he vetoed the package because it did not include a measure to attract and retain teachers. Up next here on West Coast Wrap, how much would you pay for a one-bedroom house less than 500 square feet in the greater Seattle area? If you buy this one, it's 3 times the median price. why this cabin-like home is so pricey. And quite a week for a Las Vegas gambler. He hit jackpot after jackpot after jackpot, walking home with a ton of money. Share that number when we come back. Welcome back. A quaint urban cabin with history dating back to 1949 has hit the real estate market for just $712,000. While the price may be considered a steal in Seattle, the actual square footage is only 420 square feet. Reporter Lauren Donovan has more on this rather unique listing.
In the trend of buy, bulldoze, build big, this little cottage has remained in all this time.
Tucked back into this magnolia hillside is a dainty little craftsman erected back in 1932.
Original wood floors.
Fir trim throughout, natural light brimming through. Surrounded by rhododendrons and maples. Crocuses and morels pop up from the soil.
Art meets nature.
Listing agent Teresa Simonton has dubbed it an urban cabin. I first spotted the listing earlier this week, scrolling through Zillow on my phone. It immediately stood out.
Whoa, $700,000 in Magnolia for this little thing?
But as I began flipping through photos, I began to question, was my sticker shock warranted?
When you look at it from the street, you just see two little windows and a front door.
This 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 420 square foot abode is 3 times the median sale price per square foot for Seattle homes. 3 times. But it sits on a much larger property holding great potential. The history books say this land once belonged to a prominent furrier here in town.
He had Green's Fine Furs in downtown Seattle at the time.
And this green cottage is where their horse caretaker resided.
And his children would ride horses up and down here.
Looking down below, that street there was once a dirt road. Today it meanders to an isolated beach. Looking up, you can't see it, but property records reveal there was once a second house right up the slope side from the bungalow.
This is where the second house was.
You could theoretically build another house right here, though.
To the right of that ivy-covered area, there's an added bonus, not visible from the road, a standalone cedar sauna.
Working hard or hardly working, you can decide. Look at this. Oh, it smells so good in here. I'm just gonna take a moment.
Trend now is cold plunge, so you can walk down the beach, cold plunge in the Puget Sound, come up and do your sauna.
Reporting in Seattle, Lauren Donovan, Fox 13 News.
Well, if you win tomorrow's Powerball jackpot, you can buy that little cottage up in Seattle. Lottery officials raised the jackpot's estimated value to $1.3 billion today. They originally thought the jackpot would be worth just over $1.2 billion, but people have chimed in. Powerball tickets cost us $2. They're sold in all West Coast states except Alaska, Hawaii, Utah, Nevada. Odds of winning are about 1 in 292 million, but it only takes $2. All right, talk about lucky. One gambler at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas celebrating an incredible run playing slot machines. Casino workers say the gambler has raked in more than $1 million in winnings over the last 10 days. The gambler won 3 jackpots on the Dragon Link slot machine last week. Same person won 2 more jackpots on the same brand of machine yesterday. Name of that winner is being kept private. He's a very lucky and smart man. That's our show tonight. Have yourselves a great weekend, everybody.